Hello and welcome to the North Coast Journal Preview. This is a show where we take a look at what's coming to this week's edition of the North Coast Journal. I'm your host, Tanya Shrum, and we are joined by North Coast Journal's news editor, Thad Greenson, and arts and features editor, Jennifer Fumiko Cahill. Hello, welcome to you both on this very special week.
It's a big week.
Indeed.
It is an important week here in Humboldt County.
I know Sunshine Week was like, yeah, sure, transparency in government. The big week is Taco Week.
And that's
what say transparent. What good is transparency if you don't have tacos?
That's true.
I think we all need some tacos to get through the transparency of government.
Indeed.
So,
and with that, Jennifer,
yes.
let's figure out what we're tacoing about this week.
Oh, there it is, the first taco pun of the broadcast. Well, we have on the cover this week, Taco Week, NCJ Taco Week, which is like Burger Week, but a taco. Is the taco a sandwich? Is the sandwich a kind of taco? Discuss amongst yourselves. We're not getting into that controversy, but we are sharing the layout for what's available during Taco Week. So Taco Tuesday, that's one day. Come on. We're doing 10 days, 9 nights, anyway, of tacos. And it's going to be specials around the county. And that means that these will be things that aren't normally on the menu at the participating restaurants. And this week's issue has a pullout section of what is available. Now, we don't see these until the night that they go to press. And then once the proof comes to us, because that all happens on the marketing side of the building, but once the proof comes to us in editorial and we're like, looking for periods and commas, then we're like texting each other and talking on Slack going, what about these? So it's a broad range this time. First, I would like to address the elephant in the room. The controversially named Putaco, which is...
I'm a professional.
I know. Keep it together. Keep it together. This is from Pupuseria San Miguel, which, as you may recall, we have written about them before. They are a wonderful business for pupusas, the Salvadoran delight, which is like a stuffed, soft masa thing with different meats, cheeses, vegetables, etc. inside. So you already have the pupusa. You're done, right? No, you turn it into a taco. What if the pupusa was also a tortilla? So the toppings are on top of it. It comes with the cotito, which is a lovely kind of a pickly slaw, and squeeze a lime on that thing and go to town. We're very excited about it.
I mean, I'll just say, if you put carne asada on top of a pupusa and call it a taco, you can name it whatever you want, and I will eat it happily.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight you. Name your
There's no
creation.
Wrong.
There
10
are
out of 10.
It can't be bad. You could put a shoe on a pupusa, and I'd be like, I'll try it. Are you familiar with the elote?
I am.
Okay, so the elote being the corn on a stick thing.
Right.
So when the corn is removed and it's served as like a wonderful warm salad, then it's closer to what's called esquites. Esquites. Anyway, I'll fix that. But it is, for our purposes, the Vista Del Mar has an elote taco, which is not a taco with a giant corn on the cob jammed in it. It is with the esquita salad on it. And it comes with New York steak, cotija, tahine, warm tortilla. I really like their fish tacos over there, but it's nice to see a little special happening. So that's exciting. more controversy happening at Gallagher's, where the taco features deep fried avocado. Thad, back to you. Thoughts?
I'm generally a little leery of the deep fried avocado. I do not,
I
I'm not crazy about warm avocado, and
oh,
yeah, I think the avocado is kind of a perfect thing on its own.
I hear you, avocado purist, and yet it is sort of a trendy thing, the avocado fry. And so this is we're expanding things. We're pushing the envelope over at Gallagher's. Not that, as I said before, I don't know why we haven't included Irish tacos. Um,
I believe, doesn't the Gallagher taco also have whole deep fried jalapenos on it too?
It does, I believe. It has, let's see. Okay, so first of all, it has the Gallagher's, as you know, famous for their fish and chips. So it has beer battered cod. So that's going to be kind of good. Slaw, mango pico de gallo, deep fried avocado. Oh no, it just has the chipotle lime and serrano, cilantro, or sweet chili dressing.
Oh, I am misremembering. I apologize.
I know that would have been a lot, but it's gonna. I'm sure it's gonna be good. I am also intrigued by the birria tacos over at Aztec Grill. Can we talk about Aztec Grill for a second?
Oh, yeah.
So it's the one that's in all the gas stations, the Chevron gas stations.
Hmm.
I haven't been, but people are obsessed with it.
Sometimes, you're on a road trip and that food is not that bad.
I haven't been yet.
Very surprisingly solid. I have also been told that, and I have not vetted this on my own, but that each different Aztec grill at the different chevrons has its own offerings. And so there are some that actually like are out there first thing in the morning roasting vegetables that they make into a
Really?
house-made salsa and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
This
I
is a story
think
I
there
got to
might be
get on.
variation from Aztec grill to Aztec grill.
I have heard that surfers up in Trinidad get very into the Aztec grill there. Um, and perhaps most controversially, there will be a trio of fried chicken tacos at South G Kitchen, which include a kind of a Nashville hot chicken, a Korean chicken, and then a Baja crispy chicken. So the trinity of fried chickens is happening there. But perhaps the most controversial offering is called Not a Choco Taco. It is over at Living the Dream Ice Cream. And for something that is called Not a Choco Taco, that sounds like exactly what a Choco Taco would say.
Exactly.
A death protest too much.
You may recall when the Choco Tacos were taken off of the mass produced production line, right? I forget who made them. Was it Mr. Saucy
Ooh.
or who knows? But anyway, when it was taken out of production, there was a giant wailing and a sound of sorrow throughout the world, like when Alderaan blew up. But it's it looks like a cousin, like a high-end cousin, is available at Living the Dream during Taco Week, which includes chocolate swirl vanilla ice cream folded into a waffle cone taco, dipped in chocolate and topped with nuts. It sounds like a choco taco.
Sure sounds like it.
It sure does. Anyway, it's a lot of fun for us, and usually the NCJ editorial crew goes out during like Burger Week, Taco Week, that sort of thing, and we go out and have a group lunch. We haven't picked where we're going yet, but we are obviously that's going to be the start of tomorrow's editorial meeting.
Excellent.
Obviously. You should plug the bingo game too, Chen.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. So it's Taco Bingo. So there is a bingo card for you, and as you go to different places and get receipts from your taco purchases, you can cross off and enter to win, depending on what kind of. I have not played real bingo, but evidently there are different ways to bingo, including blacking out the entire thing. Which take care of yourselves, people.
I was going to say it also depends on your level of dedication to Taco Week.
Right? Like focus. Maybe go with a friend, somebody to watch you and turn you over if necessary.
Stay hydrated, people.
Yes. Oh my God, stay hydrated. So there's a whole thing you can look in this week's paper. The bingo card is in there, and you can enter to win things like gift certificates for $25 or $100 or $250 for
Lots
tacos.
of tacos.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What a great idea.
It's super fun for us.
Well, I'm definitely going to need the heads up to the sushi edition. So
I will let you know. When we're ready for that, I will let you know.
haven't enjoyed Burger Week and Taco Week, but you know. So, and we also have the story on some of the interesting fare in McKinleyville adding up as well.
Indeed, we do. Those of you who are living in McKinleyville, what happened? What did you do? What candles are you lighting to manifest this? You got a Mexican truck, the Taqueria Martinez truck, selling Indian food like a couple times a week. You have a now the Jam Wagon. There's also Auntie Howe's. Have you been to Auntie Howe's? They do dumplings and boba tea. They make the cheese boba tea. Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay, I've missed that one.
Well, the Jam Wagon has been up there for a little bit. Perhaps you've seen it parked next to Central Station Cocktail Lounge. You can't miss it. It's bright blue, and it's got like an orange and yellow and red logo. Like, you can't miss it. But they have what they call Greek street food, but it's Mediterranean inspired. So these are not strict traditional items, but they're pretty close. As someone who lived in a Greek neighborhood in New York years ago, I haven't been the same since I was no longer able to just like walk out of my apartment and buy souvlaki on the street. RIP. But this stuff is pretty good. I went and tried it out. And first of all, they make their own loaded fries. And I know when you think loaded fries, you're thinking bacon and cheddar cheese, et cetera, et cetera. But in fact, it's the Mediterranean diet, but with French fries, because it's covered with tzatziki sauce and feta cheese and roasted peppers and fresh tomatoes. And it is delightful. It is like, I think about how the Scottish call fries a Glasgow salad. And I'm like, this is as close to true as you can make that. Also, they make a really lovely falafel and a baklava. Not baklava, pardon me. They make a lovely falafel. I was obsessing about baklava yesterday. Their falafel is like very crunchy and very satisfying. And I cannot believe it's like $6, which is ridiculous. Get it while you can still get it this cheap, because I can't imagine that it's going to stay this cheap. They're lovely. They're very herby. It's a chickpea and parsley, sometimes cilantro thing. But I actually researched, and falafel and its friend baklava go back to the time of the pharaohs and was not terribly different back then. They figured out how to deep fry this delightful sort of protein-packed, crunchy, savory thing. And then, like, it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it traveled all over the Middle East, North Africa, etc. And Greece, of course, has its own version. So the falafel is really lovely. And I also am always happy whenever there's something vegetarian that isn't an also ran. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes. Sometimes the vegetarian is like, we also make this thing that's not as good. But their vegetarian offerings are actually very lovely, despite them being sort of lamb forward, because the lamb shawarma is great. It's so juicy. It's so full of really earthy spices, and it's just so bursting with flavor. And it's covered in tzatziki sauce and, fresh vegetables, cucumbers, etc. And it's just like, you're holding the foil and it's like dripping down your arm, and you're like, this is beautiful. This is wonderful. It's like a good experience. And in this article, I am promoting something that I'm hoping will catch on, which is car linens. I keep the most minimal form of linens at my desk under my keyboard. And when I eat lunch, Thad is laughing at me. When I eat lunch, I snap it out over my desk and over my keyboard so that everything stays clean, even though I'm a sad desk lunch person. The same thing should be available in your car. Having a small towel for your lap, you're just going to enjoy eating with gusto in your car. You don't want to like eat your sandwich, your burger, your torta, your gyro, and be thinking, oh no, the whole time. No, you just throw down that tarp and just go to town and enjoy eating in your car like an American.
We need car lunch ponchos. There you go. There's your $1 million
Right?
idea.
You know,
I
I've
was
seen
just
those
going to ask
people.
if there was a smock involved.
I've seen those people who, reporters who are in dangerous places wearing, flak vests that say press on them. And I think what I need is like a lobster bib that says press so I can, be safe and be clean.
Arts and feature editor coming through.
But yes, it's lovely, and McKinleyville is just winning every day.
Ah, MacTown.
Yes, we are.
Getting spoiled. It's lovely. It's a lovely day. Would you happen to have anything else that you would like to share about this week's edition, Jennifer?
Yes, we've also got some, I'm sorry, I didn't share before. Are you still hungry? Because there's a really great food truck attached to the Redwood Curtain Brewery in Eureka, the Cookin' Nook, which when I saw the name, I was like, are you serious, Cookin' Nook? But actually, it's very good. And one of the things they have is they have a very solid burger, strong recommend. Just like this sounds ridiculous, but a simple double cheeseburger. And it's made with Wagyu beef, but it's not like the massaged Japanese Wagyu beef. It's just that breed of cow. So it has a lot of flavor, but it's not like, oh my God, I have, done blasphemy by grinding it into ground beef. It just has a lot of flavor. It's really lovely. And the most exciting part is they make malasadas, the Portuguese donut. I once again make a plug for a Portuguese restaurant somewhere in Humboldt. If you're sitting on that idea, don't wait, honey, jump on it. So the Cookin' Nook is right now your best shot at getting malasadas on the regular, and they do specials. So I got the ones with Bavarian cream in them, which were very nice and very crunchy, sugary, but they also make ones with fresh fruit and other things depending on the season. And it's lovely. Like now that we've got a little break in the rain, it's nice to sit out on a patio in the sun eating donuts.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thanks for that story, and I encourage everybody to get their appetite together and pick up this week's edition of the North Coast Journal and get ready for Taco Bingo. And with that, we're going to turn back to Thad, and he has an update on an ongoing story for us to round out this edition. Thad?
Yeah, the latest look at the Eureka City Schools property exchange agreement with the mystery developer AMG Communities Jacobs LLC. So as folks probably remember, we've been covering this since December 14th when kind of news broke out of nowhere that Eureka City Schools was pivoting away from divesting of its old Jacobs Middle School campus by selling it to the California Highway Patrol to instead engaging in this property exchange with kind of a mystery developer. And one of the questions that kind of immediately came up at the meeting is whether Eureka City Schools had violated the Brown Act in its handling of the agenda for the meeting and some of the underlying documents. And so, yes, that kind of the fact that this deal was happening kind of blindsided everybody when Eureka City Schools posted its agenda. And when it did post an agenda, it did not post the underlying documents. And so there was a property exchange agreement and a resolution authorizing this property exchange. And so the district withheld both of these and said basically that whether there's a closed session agenda item and an open session agenda item at that meeting. And they said kind of whether the open session agenda item went forward, for which these documents should have been public, was kind of contingent on the closed session agenda item. And so if the board of trustees voted to move forward, then they would make these documents available to the public at that time. And then they'd have the open session thing. Now, obviously, from an open meeting standpoint, this is somewhat problematic. Generally, these documents have to be made public 72 hours in advance of the meeting so that, both the people making the decisions and members of the public can review them, jot down questions, look up additional information, and kind of come to the meeting informed and ready to talk about these things. So we asked a bunch of Brown Act experts at the time whether kind of this passed mustard. And the answer we got back was kind of convoluted, but basically was it depends. That there are kind of unique carve-outs that would allow a district to do this, but that would be contingent on the board members not having access, or a majority of the board members not having access to these documents before the public did. So basically, if they went into closed session and staff presented something and they said, yes, let's move forward with this, and then at that time these documents were made available to the board for the first time and the public for the first time, that would be legal under the Brown Act. And so that was kind of a lingering question. We finally got some records back from a records request with Eureka City Schools that shows that that was not the case. And that's not how Eureka City Schools handled this matter. In fact, that they sent these documents to board members several days, the entirety of the board, several days before the meeting. And so this constitutes another Brown Act violation in their handling of it. We reported maybe a month ago that they also violated the Brown Act by not fully listing the properties in question in this agreement in the agenda. Per open meeting laws, public agency, if they were negotiating for a property, either to sell it or acquire it, they need to put that in the agenda. And so while Eureka City Schools listed the former Jacobs Middle School site in that agenda, they did not list the property that they were going to acquire in this property exchange, a small residential property on 11th Street in the agenda. So this is the second kind of pretty material violation of the Brown Act in this deal. At this point, it's the appeal period has kind of passed, so there's no really recourse. We just felt like it was necessary to point out, especially in light of the district sending out a press release shortly after this vote, insisting that they had followed the Brown Act and pledging their commitment to transparency. The other tidbit that's in the story this week is, AMG Communities, Jacobs LLC, as folks might remember, incorporated, filed articles of organization with the Secretary of State's office just like 2 days before this meeting when they were entered into this property exchange agreement. They have, a lawyer and a spokesperson for that group have repeatedly declined to kind of answer questions about who really is behind this new company, who its investors are, who's really going to be purchasing this property, and there's no paperwork with the school district that shows who these folks are. The school district, in fact, has said that it has only been negotiating with the attorneys for this group. So they remain very mysterious. And so a deadline recently passed, I think in mid-March, with the Secretary of State's office, in which this group was supposed to file kind of follow-up paperwork. So an LLC can form by filing this articles of organization, which have really basic information, just like basically a temporary mailing address and an agent for the company. So a point of contact for the Secretary of State's office. But within 90 days, they're supposed to follow up and file kind of a more substantive document that has, a business address, a mailing address, but then also it's a CEO, as well as its members. And because Jacobs or AMG Communities Jacobs LLC incorporated as what's called a member operated LLC, this document should have list of its entire membership, which is of great interest to everybody in Humboldt County who's very curious about who this mystery developer is. Fortunately, they didn't file that document. There's not a huge penalty for that. They have to pay a small fine and a late filing fee and file it late. And a spokesperson after our deadline, a spokesperson got back to us basically just to say, yeah, you're right. We haven't filed that yet, but we'll file it soon. So stay tuned.
Wonderful. Well, not only are there Brown Act violations, but they sure are causing a lot of brown noise. So thank you for that reporting, Thad. And I want to congratulate you on your second Freedom of Information Award.
So true.
Everybody take that out for tacos. Well,
I'll take all the tacos.
yes, take all the tacos you can. And that wraps up our time for this week. The current edition of the North Coast Journal is available on newsstands now. Pick up your copy today, or you can find it online at northcoastjournal.com. I am Tanya Schrum. Thanks for being with us and staying informed and supportive of our North Coast community. Bye-bye now.